Hey, folks, it's Dave back again, and guess what I'm talking about? Yep, right here. More APBA hockey talk. Holy cow! So I played my first complete game tonight with all the rules, with everything. I really did try to use everything. The one thing I did forget was the on the team sheets when you get the rosters here. Okay. You see all at the top here, they got the power play ratings. I forgot to use those. I don't think it would have made much of a difference because one was even and one was a +1 or a -1. So I don't think it really would have changed the outcome of the game. But that's the one thing I forgot to use. I'm kind of bummed because I really wanted to use everything in this game. But I used the long pass. I used the matchups. Uh, the addition the new fight rule, whatever. I went full board tonight is what I did. And it took me a long time tonight, but I took a lot of breaks. I tend to, get something to eat, and I was watching something on YouTube. So it's kind of hard to say how long it took. I'd say it probably took me a couple hours, going over the whole game and playing full rules and the whole bit. But it was fun. So let me give you the recap of the game, and then we'll talk about what I thought. So I did Pittsburgh at St. Louis, and it was the 1990-91 season. That's what I have, and Pittsburgh came away with the 4-3 win. Let's see, shots on goal. Start with that. St. Louis had 42 shots on goals. I had a lot of shots on goals in this game, and Pittsburgh had 40 shots on goal. So Barrasso got the win. He saw 40 shots on goal. He saved three goals against. So he had 30. What is that? 30. What'd that be? 40 minus 3, 37 saves. 37 saves. And yeah, Hockey Unreal say a couple hours. Yeah, I started at 8:30, but then I set up and then I did the video. And then I would play, then I made a tea, and then I would, then I got something to eat, and then I came back and I went to the bathroom, and I talked to the wife for a minute. She wasn't feeling good today. So I was kept getting up from the table, but it was about 11:15 when I get done. And but I figure I probably took almost 45 minutes or so of just downtime, and I was talking to ID during his thing. So, but anyway, so I figured a couple hours for this game here. And I just want to kind of talk about it while it's right on my mind. Actually, I want to talk about how I feel about it and the whole bit. So again, it was 4-3. Barrasso made 37 saves in the win, and Curtis Joseph was in net for St. Louis, and he saw 42 shots. He gave up 4, so he had 38 saves. All in all, pretty even game. I'm going to get to my projects in 1 second. If you're talking to me, Aldi, I'm not sure if you're talking to Hockey Unreal, if you're talking to myself. Let me run down the scoring here. In the first period, right off the bat. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's 11 minutes in. I'm reading the times. 11 minutes in. Young from Trottier and Bork put the Penguins up 1-0. Then late in the period, 2 quick goals by the Blues. This was kind of cool. At 18:30, Hull from Stevens and Oates. And then on a matchup, this was on a matchup, okay? This is on a matchup. It was I rolled a 53. That's the other thing is I keep trying to remember all the different things because a 53 is a matchup roll. And then there's certain rolls that you got to check for an additional minor on penalties. So there's a lot to remember, a real lot to remember. It's not hard. It's just there's a lot to remember. So anyway, I rolled a 53 and I had a matchup, and it was Oates and Lemieux. Adam Oates and Mario Lemieux matchup. And it was center on center. And Oates won the matchup, got the shot on net and scored. And that was just 30 seconds after the Brett Hull goal. So 18:30 and then 19 minutes with the time of the goals for Hull and Oates. And Oates got the assist from Hull and Brindamore. And it was 2-1 St. Louis at the end of the first period. I thought that was neat, having a matchup that actually mattered in the game. That was kind of fun. In the second period, just 2 minutes in, Stevens tied it up from Lemieux and Samuelson. It was 2-2. And then St. Louis went up on a goal by McLean on the power play. This is actually the third line. And what I do is to make it simpler on me, if there's a penalty, I will keep the line out there that's supposed to be there. What I do is if the guy, if whoever gets the penalty, I go to the next line that was going to come on the ice. Okay. So if I have line 2 out there and line 3 was coming out next, and the line 2 guy got a penalty, and he, like the defenseman mostly, I would bring out the line 3 defense. That's just how I do it. It just saves a little bit of time. And then Yager scored. Yep. Yeah. Yager scored from Stanton and Francis. And then, so that tied the game at 3-3 after the McLean power play goal. And then Lemieux scored from Recchi and Stevens to make it 4-3. And that was all the scoring. I didn't have any scoring in the third period. The Blues only got 7 shots in the third period, so they had a bad third period. I had 9 penalties on the Penguins and 6 on the Blues. The game was in St. Louis, by the way. The one thing that there's really no home ice advantage in this game, like you might have in a strat or a shootout. That's the one thing I kind of miss about that is there's really no home ice advantage. Occasionally you'll get something that says the home player gets the puck or something once in a while, but it's not really that prevalent. So but I did have one fight. Bob Erie fought, I think it was Rich Sutter. So they had a fight. I had a couple of double minors, though. That was kind of neat. Phil Bork had a double minor, and Garth Butcher had a double minor. I had a brief 30-second 2-man advantage for one of the teams. So I had a little bit of everything in this game. It was really fun. Really enjoyed that one. So, yeah, so that was Pittsburgh 4, St. Louis 3, 1990-91. That was so as far as the game and what I thought about everything, it was like a hockey game. Again, I keep saying this just feels like a hockey game. And the dump-ins I enjoyed. The matchups I didn't think I would enjoy. I enjoyed the matchup play. I enjoy everything about this. I really like. Although the penalties are still the process for a penalty is still not difficult, but there's a process you got to follow. And sometimes it's like you get the coincidentals and you got to check for an extra minor, or maybe you check for see if they both get extra minors. So I still don't have that down yet. So every time there's a penalty, I still got to go to the rule book to see, okay, what are the procedures to determine any extra penalties? I used there's a different fighting rule there. Whereas if you have a fight, you roll for a fight, you start to roll on the other teams to see who got the fight. Well, you don't necessarily start with the highest rated guy. You roll to see which guy you start with, including the goalie. You can actually have a fight with a goalie. So I used that tonight. That was kind of fun. I did enjoy that. I like the fact that on that chart there, if you get a fight, you roll, and there's still a slight possibility that it's only a minor. So I do like some of the extra rules in here. I do. But once you get a penalty, especially a coincidental, it's like, wow, what the process of finding the extra guy, and is there an extra minor on either? Oh boy. So that'll be a while before I get the penalties down. Because again, you're checking I didn't check for misconducts tonight. It's like, the heck with that. I'm not going to check for misconducts, especially late in the game. But so the penalties can trip me up a little bit, but for the most part, they were really good. The game was fun. The setup was good. Those little L brackets I got there. Okay. If you saw my earlier video, it was, I didn't know what to do with the charts. This is what I normally use is this right here. It's a clipboard, and it's got this little thing right here. So you can actually take your sheets and stick them in. And so that's what I usually use, but Staples didn't have any. So, I was like, geez, what am I going to get? And so they have those L brackets. And I've used those before, at the rink. I put stuff in there, and they're good display brackets. But I said, boy, this might work. This actually might work to hold the charts. And they did. And it held the charts very nice. And they stack up. If you saw the video, like when you're done, I just went like an accordion and slid them off to the side, and they don't take up hardly any room. So setup and breakdown is a breeze. And that's the one thing that concerns me about some of these games. If I have a big setup, it's like, oh man, really? But the APPA cards are nice and small. I think I like them better than the strat cards, because the strat cards are big, and I like them better than the Hockey Blast cards. The Hockey Blasts they're really small, and they're so small they're kind of hard to put on the table there. But the APPA cards are like a deck of cards, so you can take them and just put them down, and there you go. So I do like how that does. The mat, the Hockey Blast mat that I have, I'm doubling for APPA. I don't know if I'll make a new one for APPA or not. I don't think I really will because of the way the cards cover the whole mat. There's nothing to really see behind it. So I think I'm just gonna stick with the mat I got. Oh, and you like the L stands? Yeah. Oh my gosh, those are great. I got 5 of them. I should have got 6. I forgot how many charts I actually had, but the charts just slide in and they stand up right in front of you and you can see them. And again, when you're done, you just put, you put them away. The only one I didn't put in an L bracket was the power play, because because power play, what I would do is I would put that over the normal chart, because you don't use a normal chart in a power play. So it was a good idea not to put the power play chart in an L bracket, because I could just put it over the L bracket and just let it sit there. And then when the power play is over, I just take it away. So I wouldn't need another L bracket in the way. So I didn't put the power play in there. So I got a pretty good setup going on with that. I like how I got the cards set up. That works out really well. I printed out these little logos here, as you can see. So I got, North Stars and Penguins. So, and I put that on the table. So that reminds me what zone is what. And if you saw the picture of this, so what I'll actually do is I have the Stanley Cup as my puck. And so if it's a face off in the zone, I'll just put it right on the logo here, so I know that it's a defensive zone face off. So I got a neat little setup there, and it doesn't take any time to set up. I just pull out the L brackets, throw the teams down, lay them out, and I'm gone. So the setup time is really fast on this. I really like it. The game's a long time, so I know that it's going to be a while to play, but it was great. I just got to try to remember everything. You just every time, like, when you get a new game and it was a lot of instructions, you tend to forget some things, but then the next time you make sure you don't. Like, I was getting good at the matchup roll, so every time a 53 come up, I did the matchup. I had 2 or 3 matchups tonight. They were fun. They were fun. It really was. I like the matchups. I do. And then I just forgot the power play, because each team has a power play and a penalty kill rating of 1 or -1 or 0. And I forgot to use those tonight. Again, that it's a slight thing, so I don't think it really mattered all that much. But I did forget that. But everything else I used a long pass. That was fun. I read on how to do that, whereas you look at the letter rating at the bottom and see compare the forecheck of the other team. And I tried a couple long passes, and one was a 2-line pass, and one was intercepted for a shot on net. Luckily, the goalie make the save, but it's a risk reward thing. Fun. Oh my gosh, it feels like you're in it. This game does so many little things that work, that make it. It's a long game, but it's great. I really enjoying this, and I keep talking about it, as you know, but it's really fun. I walk away feeling like I just got done playing a hockey game. I do. So let me go back to some of the chat here. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling here, but I wanted to get a couple things off here. That was the other thing I was going to do. I actually was going to get on today and do a video on what products I wanted to do, because what I did is I went to the APPA site and I started printing. What you can do is you can print the rosters out. Okay, so that's the 79-80 season, and what's neat is it shows you all the guys you're going to get if you order that season, which is great. I think Strat might do that too. So I'm just saying that's what APPA does. So I started looking at the teams and I'm like, what seasons do I want to get? What guys would I get? So I started going through the 79-80 season, 77-78, 74-75, and I'm printing out and I'm looking at the guys to see if anybody catches my eye. Would there be a team I would want to play? Do I have anything in mind? Because these projects are not going to be long projects. They're going to be a playoff series. They're going to be a onesie twosie, because you just can't do anything. When a game's going to take me a couple hours to play, I can't do a full season. I don't know. I may or may not pick one team and play an entire season with one team and check the stats. That's a possibility, even though that if I play 80 games at 2 hours, that's 160 hours. Do the math. That's a long time. Probably would take. It's about the same amount of time it takes me to do my shootout season is what I'm doing. So as far as a project goes, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. I love expansion teams. So, anything from the 70s with all those expansion teams would be fun. I like the weird games. Like the Flyers played the Scouts and they crushed them 12-0. I'd like to play that game and see how close to 12-0 I can come. I like the weird stuff like that. I know there's the Colorado Rockies are in a couple seasons, and that's the great thing about APPA is they have all the seasons I would want to play. So do I want to play some Rockies games? Do I want to go back and play the Seals from 68 when they actually made the playoffs, even though I don't really know anybody from that team? Or do I want to play the 73, 74 Seals that I know? And how many games would I play? Would I want to play a playoff series? Do I want to get 71, 72 and recreate the Stanley Cup Finals, Boston, New York? Or, like Ron said, why don't I get a season that I have with Strat and Shootout and Hockey Blast or a couple other games and then do a comparison? Play a game in each one and see how they come out. And then I can compare all the games and see, how much fun I had playing this and what the results were. And so that's another idea I thought about too. So that's what I was thinking about for hockey projects. Let me see here. D. Smith, you bought Hockey Bones Inside the Crease. I have Hockey Bones, and I have an older season. I got a 70 season, I think, with them. And, I've talked about it before. I read the directions, and I was kind of lost. I just didn't really follow it. However, now that I've kind of tackled the APPA here, it's given me hope that I could play a longer game, that I could play a complex game. You know what I mean? So I may dig it out at some point. Not yet, because I still have On Deck Baseball that I'm playing and APPA. So those are the two games I got last week. So I'm not going to pull out Hockey Bones just yet, but we're scheduled to have Tim Plum on the show at some point, and we'll talk to him about that. And I know Peter Miller said he would help me with Hockey Bones too. So I don't doubt that at some point I will get to doing some Hockey Bones. Inside the Crease, a lot of people are talking about Inside the Crease with me and saying I would like that. I've watched some videos on it. I have the PC game. I'm not real thrilled about the PC game. I don't know what it is about the PC game, but maybe if I went back to it, it would make more sense. But I tried it and I wasn't thrilled about it. So maybe I need to revisit that like I revisited APPA. You never know. But the cards and dice one looked interesting with how you flip the cards in a whole bit. So I'd have to see how much that game costs, how much seasons were in the whole bit. I want to watch a few more videos on In the Crease before I go and do anything. It looks interesting. It really does. So I'm going to try the computer game out again. I think I got the demo, and I want to, maybe check out, like I say, both Hockey Bones and In the Crease. So those are two that are on the back burner here, but I don't doubt that I will be trying some of those. So yeah, a lot of people talking about In the Crease. You have an uncle that hated Yarmir Yagi, Bach and Growl to TV. That's interesting. The Traveling Yagers. You ever see the Traveling Yagers? Those are fun. Let's see. Nice ebb and flow in that game. Pittsburgh coming from behind. Yeah. Yep. Now that I've played 3 full games now, so I'm getting the hang of it now. Things are getting a little bit more familiar. I still got to keep stopping, because I just double check myself. Okay, is this the one that I re-roll, or is this the one that I don't re-roll? Is this the one that I check everybody on the board? Is this the one that I just check one guy? So I'm still sorting out a few things, but a lot of the things are flowing. When it's like, pass, but you got to check the forecheck or check the physicality of the other team. That is, I'm bing with that. Shots on goal, obviously, I'm getting really good with. Rebounds and tip-ins I'm getting good with. So I'm getting up to speed in a lot of things. I almost filmed the last couple minutes of the game upstairs that I played. Luckily I didn't, because it was kind of boring. Lemieux won every face-off from Adam Oates. So although I pulled the goalie with a minute and a half left, and the Blues didn't touch the puck till the last check of the game, and Oates set up Brett Hull for a shot, and Hull's shot missed. He has a high shot rating, and he missed. And it was the puck went to the left wing or right wing or something, and that ended the game. So I did get one last shot with the goal he pulled. But I'm getting used to there's a lot of 4-on-4 play, because that season was the season that if you got coincidental minors, you played 4-on-4. So when you play 4-on-4, you read from the forecheck 3 rather than forecheck 2. So there's a lot of things like that. There's a lot to remember. But I was getting good at it. I was getting good at remembering everything. And it did. It felt like a game. It felt like a really good game. Let's see here. Shootout handles it the best I know of. Okay. As far as penalties, even the shootout penalties are yeah, like Hockey and Real says, it's hard to resolve penalties in any game. Shootout, there's a lot of penalties at one point, even though you're only serving one or having one power play. There's a lot of penalties. So, but again, those are kind of cosmetic. They're just for the end of the game stats. And sometimes I'll get, 10 minor penalties in a period, which is like, well, that would never happen really. But I guess you got to think on average over the course of a season or whatever amount of games that might be the case. Because there's some games that you get no penalties. It's rare, but I've gone many games in shootout where I get none or one penalty. So I guess it would balance out. If you played 10 games of shootout and you looked at all the penalties, they would probably balance out to what they did in real life. So that's what you got to keep in mind with shootout. And Steve Hockey and Real says that sounds ultra realistic. The fight that almost was a fight but wasn't. Yeah, and shootout does that too. If you check for a fight and there's no fight, then it's just pushing and shoving. And the same with APPA. It's like you get a fight rating, and if you can't find anybody to fight, it's just a minor penalty. Although it doesn't wipe out the penalty, it's just a minor penalty. But it was kind of fun when I got a penalty and then I checked and I got a double minor, and you check the other team. So it was like one guy got 4, one guy got 2. So I'm slowly figuring that out. I figure the more I do it, the better I'll get at it. But again, when you come up to something and it's no penalty, it's just pushing and shoving, just like they tell you to do in shootout. So you guys heading out? Yeah, it is late. I just wanted to jump on tonight. I just finished up, so I said I'm going to jump on tonight and kind of talk a little bit about it. Like I said, APPA Hockey is really fun. I'm glad I gave it another chance. I'm glad everybody's been helping me out play it. It's super fun. It's a long play game. It does feel like you've played an entire hockey game. It's got the ebbs and flows. I have not got stuck. I have not got frustrated. That's probably the big key about this particular game, is I haven't got to a point where I just went, this is stupid, or I can't figure this out, or anything. I've never got to that point. I never got to the point where I got frustrated with this game since I got it. When I got the old version last summer, I did get frustrated because it was the older book and it didn't have the cheat sheets, and I really wasn't sure what the heck was going on. But now that like I say, I watched the videos and I read the instructions again, I got the big chart book and I watch ID play. Now the gameplay is a lot easier for me, so I'm more familiar with it. But still, I keep reading the directions at night. I enjoy reading the directions because there's so much to this game. I keep wanting to refresh. It's almost like studying for a test. That's what it feels like. It's like I'm always sitting there, we're watching TV and I pull out the directions and I'm going through the penalties again, trying to figure out what it is. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, man, I'm cramming for a test because when I play this game, I want to know what to do here." So that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm studying for a test when I do all this stuff here. But yeah, all in all, so much fun. The line changes are fun. I think the one thing I got to do on the line changes, though, I kind of make it a mental note. And if anybody plays this game, let me know what you do. Is I had a power play, and again, I kind of let the power play lines. I don't change up for power plays. So if line 2's out there on the power play, that line 2's on the power play. And so I had to change lines, and the team with the power play, St. Louis on the power play, they had the puck. And I think I did the dump and chase thing. And I'm like, well, then after I did it, I said, you really wouldn't have to dump and chase if you're on the power play. You know what I mean? So if the short-handed team dumped it in or whatever happened, I think it was a shot on net and my defenseman got the puck. I think normally what would happen is the team short-handed would shoot the puck, save, go to the defense, and they would back off a little bit. So you wouldn't necessarily have to dump and change on the power play. In fact, I don't think anybody ever dumps and changes on the power play. So I think I'm not going to do that on the power play. If I have the power play, I'll just do it like the strat way and just flip and go to the next line. So if you let me know what you guys do. If you guys play APPA Hockey on the power play, if it comes up for a line change, what do you do? And I know some guys put out the power play line and just play the whole power play. I don't. I like I said, I let it ride. So I think that's the one thing I am going to change. I don't know what the exact rule is on that, but I think what I'm going to do is on the power play, if my team has the puck and I need to change a line, I'm just going to change. I'll just change both lines. So the guy has the puck, he hangs onto it while his team changes, shorthanded team changes. I think that's more realistic than to try to dump and chase. So I think that's the one thing I'm going to change, but aside from that, it's a lot of fun. So I think before I go to bed, I'm going to print out more of these. So I don't have them all quite done yet. I got the Penguins. Again, I already showed you the North Stars, and then I got the Islanders. So I did a few teams here. Oh, where's Jacket? Where's Patch? There you go. I even did a Canadian. So I printed out a lot of these teams just so I can put on the tabletop, and I use that as kind of my defensive zone marker as well. So I'm going to print out a few more of those. I'm going to start writing down my project ideas. I'm going to pick out some seasons and hopefully order a couple of seasons tomorrow and get more APPA hockey going. Then ID keeps bugging me to do videos, and I will. It's going to be hard to do live. I don't know if I could set it up here, which is how I'd have to go live. And it's a long game, so I'm not sure if I'd really want to go live either. But I should get some gameplay going soon here on the channel, even if I just film a few minutes of me playing the game upstairs. And if I can figure out a way to do it here live, I will somehow, some way. I just don't think I have the space here, but I might try. But anyway, I'm Dave. I just wrapped up my third game of APPA hockey, full game. I played with all the complete rules. I don't know if it's called advanced, super advanced, optional, what it is. Played with everything on tonight. I did the matchups. I did the long passes. I did the new fight thing. Anything you could do in the game, I did tonight. And yeah, I'm enjoying the heck out of APPA hockey. It's just I just need to learn it a little bit more so everything becomes more natural, and especially the penalties. I keep getting tripped up on those because I want to get them right, So anyway, I'll talk to everybody later, and I think Ron and I are going to try to do some on-deck baseball either this week or maybe next weekend. We're going to try to stream a game of on-deck baseball and show you guys that as well. That's a really, really fun baseball game if you like baseball. So we'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.